Sup?
Hi guys, happy Thursday.
Oh
Woo!
man, it is indeed Thursday. Welcome to the third Thursday of the month. We're going to be rocking with the same topic: uh, finding and understanding your spiritual language. So, for those of you that didn't catch it, this is piggybacking off of last month's topic, which was clairs, and you know, getting to know your specific clair. What does it mean? What types are there? How can they, be grouped together into specific and unique gifts? This is more of a month about preparing your body, your space, your spirit for what it is that you receive, and then being able to understand at the end of the day how it is that you receive that. So this week we'll be talking about the spiritual process. So getting your spirit ready, making sure that you're upfront and honest with things, and you are definitely able to receive. But first, announcements. We're going to be at
The Central Kentucky Mystical Market this weekend over in the Tates Creek area. So if you're in Lexington, pop over, check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun vendors there, including Rocky Hounds and several others.
Miss Joni Khan is going to be there.
Yay, yes. And for those of you in Ohio, first of all, I'm sorry, but there will be Mystic Nights this weekend. So that's another event put on by the Girls of Ascending Shadows and of Missy and Mandy. I forgot forgot the tag team tarot. That's their yes.
Triple Goddess Gifts, Tag Team Tarot, Slumber Party Tarot,
The whole
and,
shebang.
and Sacred Journey Market. Yeah, the girls are putting it on together. It's going to be in Milford, Ohio. So details of that are floating around Facebook. We've shared the flyer as well. Uh, Brian, if you could do a solid, sir, and see if you could find either the flyer or the link to the post, and throw that in for us.
Yeah. That is going to be a 1 day event. The Central Kentucky Mystical Market is going to be a 2 day event. So if you're in the Lexington area, pop in, give your handshake, high five, hug, the whole bit. And if you're in Ohio, maybe think about swinging by Mystic Nights on Saturday. I think it's actually supposed to be some decent weather. So if you're looking for something to do, there's a couple of options. And as always, the last Thursday of the month is Tarot Night. We are lucky this month and we have 5 Thursdays. So Tarot Night will not be next week. Tarot Night will actually be the following week. Just as a reminder, you can send stars and that'll get you bumped to the top of the list. Readings are free, but technically stars count as a quote unquote tip. So that's why you get bumped to the top and the option for an all read. So check us out. We'll be streaming here and on YouTube for Tarot Night, and that is the last Thursday of the month.
Yay.
Yes. Also, a couple of other reminders. The forecast is officially on the big red play button. So if you've been looking for it, you've been missing it, and you weren't sure where it went, it is over on YouTube. We moved it over there just to make sure that we would actually be able to pump it still. Same thing with any of the previous month lives. So if you were looking for the Clairs last month, check them out on YouTube. If you were looking for the ones even earlier this month, YouTube is definitely the better place to check them out.
Uh, Brian has heard what it is that you guys have asked for. For those of you who are watching on YouTube,
Yeah.
and those of you here on Facebook that are wanting to catch, repeats, he is beginning to work on making sure that the announcements for that month are taken out. So since they no longer apply, we're taking them out. It's a little bit less time that you guys have to sit and wait for the topic, and we're going to make sure in the future that we're able to do that. Um, Also, most of our announcements are usually handled during the quick word. That's going to be most times. Recently, it's been Wednesday nights. However, things are going to shift with that, and we're probably going to be doing the quick word on Sundays from now on. Um, Job schedules, different things like that. So, uh, as far as editing, it's going to be a lot more feasible to do it then. So the quick,
Queek.
the quick word is going to be on Sundays now. But all of our announcements for that coming week will be done on that quick word on Sunday. So if you ever wonder what's going on, what we're doing, when we're doing things, why we're doing things, that's that's usually the post to catch,
Yeah.
unless Brian himself posts a update video. Um, Usually on these lives, at this point, we're going to cover what is immediate, so what's just brand new or what is important, kind of like the market this weekend. Also, if you didn't catch it, it has been posted here and on our YouTube. We were on with Mr. Sean Ellis last night, had a lot of fun, spent some good time. If you want to catch that podcast slash live stream, we still have it here on the Facebook and it is on our YouTube as well as his. So please go check him out. You know, he's a pretty good dude.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get to it. Brian, do you have anything else?
Um, uh, the quick words as far as being moved to Sunday will probably not be this week. It will probably be maybe the week after next. It just depends on. I'm starting a new job, so but that job is like 4 days a week for 10 hours a day. So I'm looking at Sunday through Thursday. I'm wanting to have everything done by Friday, Saturday. That way we can get it scheduled and posted out. Just I have been paying attention to people's comments. I've been trying to answer them as they come on the YouTube. And the big one is like Steve was saying, taking the announcements out. I want y'all to know that it still takes anywhere between 4 to 6 hours to edit these live streams. So it's going to take a little bit to get them out. I've got one that's ready to be cut up and to make it look. I'm making them look. I'm starting to make them look pretty. Y'all will notice some stuff about the forecast tomorrow. I actually put some pretty shit in it, so it'll look like an actual fucking YouTube video.
Woo!
Now the quick words, they're still going to be. They're just information. I don't have to do anything with them. Uh, Mostly it's. I don't know why I'm echoing in y'all stuff.
I don't think you're echoing.
You're not on my end
I can hear y'all. I can hear myself in y'all's end.
because out here we can't hear it, and on my end, the particular blind hearing, you're not echoing at all.
Okay, it would just be my headphones then. Um, I don't have to do anything except for pacing. Um, as far as pacing cuts for the quick words and even the forecast. And what I mean by pacing cuts is I'm taking out a lot of the blank space. Um, there's like big gaps of 4 to 5 seconds, and that's not a big deal. Not I'm just kind of letting everybody else know the process. It still takes to do a 15-20 minute video. It takes about an hour. So
So yeah, so if you guys see this stuff jump cut, that's the reason why.
I,
And I am one of the world's worst with trying to find the right word. So there'll be this pause in between what I'm trying to say and what I actually say.
if they catch it, good on them because I've rewatched these videos and you can't tell that I've jump cut you. It looks like you're carrying the conversation forward with the type of editing techniques that I'm using.
Solid.
It looks pristine. The only thing I have to watch for is your fucking hands
I talk with my hands.
because there'll be a cut like that jump cut and it'll look like your hands suddenly appear out of fucking nowhere
Wow.
like smoke and then hands.
Oh, that's awesome. Just
And also, I want to say thank you. We're up to 130 subs on the YouTube. We are
thank you,
steadily climbing.
thank you guys very much for that. Uh, there's a lot of reasons why you guys subscribing to our YouTube is actually important to us. We've been very transparent. Obviously, it does us a lot of good. If we're being honest, if we get ad revenue, Spirit Mechanics can pay for itself, and that is an awesome feat. Brian can actually get paid for his time as a producer. The girls that do the prelim calls can actually get paid for taking intake for cases. We can actually start to pay people for their time. Right now, everybody is a volunteer. Spirit Mechanics 100%. When I say that we run on donations and we're here because of you, I'm very serious. Every mechanic, including myself, is a volunteer. None of us gets paid. All the money that is given to us goes back into making sure that we can get back out to you. So, having a built up YouTube channel could honestly help us. Um, the other reason is, and we were transparent about this too, you know, our videos, everybody else's for that matter, at least on media platforms that are associated with Meta, they're only keeping up to 30 days worth of content. After that, it's stricken from their servers, it gets erased. So, all of our backlog stuff and things like that, all that hard work gets gone. So, having YouTube where we have our own spot for all this stuff and people can go back, hey, I remember them talking about this thing last year or whatever, or earlier in the year. It helps out because now you guys can search it. Um, Also, you can do a lot more with a YouTube channel than you can with a Facebook live stream. Calling it exactly what it is. Um, so it's a lot more beneficial.
The amount of
So
times,
go
the amount
ahead.
of, I'm sorry, the amount of times that we've been hit for copyright when there's nothing in the damn video for on Meta is absolutely heinous. And 9 times out of 10, it's some scammer thing out of the Middle East. I use most of the stuff I use for our videos are royalty free, free licenses, and then they get popped. Well, any money we make on Meta goes to them. That includes stars.
Yep. If those videos that we post, like the Tarot Night videos that we wind up posting, or even during the live, if they're flagged, anything that you guys give us goes, it's no longer ours because it was flagged for copyright. Even though there's no music, there's no anything that's playing in the background, it's just us. So that's the reason why we flat out tell you guys, ask us first if you would like to be, promoted in some way, if you would like us to give you a shout out as far as being a reader, those kinds of things. Um, Please get with us in private message first. Because if you drop your shit in our comments during any of our live streams, you're going to get banned. We have to do that to be able to, one, protect our community, but two, protect ourselves. That's just us being transparent. So get with us first. Also, on that particular note, do not ever, please listen to me when I say it. If you hear nothing else out of all this mess, do not ever expect us to be soliciting for readings or drop into your private message boxes ever.
Nah.
Ever. We're not going to come on anybody else's live stream and promote our shit without their permission. And we're not going to be soliciting for readings unless it's our own live stream and our own page. So if you are getting messages from anyone that is claiming to be a mechanic, has a picture of a mechanic, or is rocking as Spirit Mechanics, and you don't have a solid name, so it's not tagged, this person, that person, or the other, then you should flag those motherfuckers because they're bullshit artists. Just wanted to get that out there because we have actually had a couple that have started up. Of course, with the name spelled wrong, even though it's right there at the top of the page. That's how you know that they're a fake account because they can't call themselves the same thing. Because they'll get flagged immediately. Facebook will literally go, that name already exists and you can't have it. So, our markets have been hit, our team has been hit, individual readers that work with us have been hit, individuals on the team that have their own businesses have been hit. It's starting to get ridiculous. So, you guys have to come to us if you would like a reading or any kind of help. We are not going to solicit it.
No. Hopefully that clears some stuff up.
Because I know for a fact there are a couple of our regulars that have been like,
got a weird message.
And I'm like, that was none of us.
No.
The echo isn't there anymore, Brian.
Okay. I know you're talking to Redmond, but you changed the microphone. I can hear it.
Yeah, I did. For some reason, it got moved back to a different default. I don't know why.
It's the microphone above the laptop camera. That's the one that echoes.
Oh, gotcha.
Because now you sound like you have some bass in your voice, and I like it when y'all have some bass.
We should be using the Yeti.
I thought it was already selected, so that's my apologies, y'all.
Yeah, we got it switched back to the Yeti, so we should be good.
Right about as you preach your voice, so that was great timing.
Hilarious. But enough bitching, enough talking about that, unless anybody has anything else real quick.
No?
Nope.
Okay. And of course, because we are transparent, this will be the last thing said. Because we are transparent, giggle. If you guys have questions about what it is that we do, how it is we operate, where it is things go, within reason, of course, we're going to tell you. All you have to do is ask the question. We're going to make sure you get the answer that you need. Integrity is a fucking thing with this team. And those of us that are in the middle of it will be damned if someone needs something and we don't provide it. So ask away if you need to ask. All right. So brought it up at the beginning of the video. So we're still talking about finding your spiritual language and talking about that. And we talked about getting your mental space prepared, getting your emotions in check, making sure that, you were in a steady space. Then we talked about last week, understanding the different uses and the differences between your instinct and your intuition. This part is going to be specifically talking about your energy, your auric space, and yes, they can overlap, but they're two different things.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, your ability to actually receive. The first 2 weeks, we're talking about getting out of your own way, literally. You stopping the bias, you getting out of your own head, you quit, stressing over the particular physical symptoms that you're having first. Yeah, it can trigger that moment of, I need to pay attention, but leaning into those physical experiences after you're paying attention is going to lead you into some inconclusive shit if it doesn't lead you down the wrong path. Gut feelings are great when you're hungry. Gut feelings are great when you need to take a shit. Gut feelings are great when, you've got found out with your hand in the cookie jar. That's awesome. Do they have anything to do with your intuition? No. Not just no, but fuck no. They have nothing to do with your intuition. Your intuition literally has absolutely nothing to do with you. It is an outside force and a voice that is speaking to your soul and your soul responding in kind. That's what intuition is. If you have to place it on a physical experience, then you're not experiencing it. Your instincts may be top notch, but it's not giving you what you want. So, how do we actually prepare ourselves in a spiritual sense for our clairs to be active and for us to receive, what it is that we need?
I always start with grounding.
Okay.
That is a go-to firsties. Because usually if I'm having to take a second anyway to make sure what I'm actually catching is intuition and not my instinct or my own personal bias, grounding's an awesome place to start. For those of you that do not remember how to ground, it can be super, super simple. You literally can walk outside, touch a tree, or you can hold your fingers at the base of your chakra system like a cup, take a big, deep breath in, pull up until you feel resistance, turn it over, and then push out and exhale. It's a real easy way to ground, and it's something that can kind of be done just on the fly.
Grounding is a good way to make sure that your mind, body, and spirit are collectively unfucked. It allows you to actually bond them together in the way that they need to be bonded. By the way, that's what your chakra system actually does. Is it makes sure that you have a universal connectivity between what you think, what you experience, not feel, what you experience, and then what you should be listening to. So your mind, your body, and your spirit. When you ground, you're getting all the excess, any major blockages that you're able to move on your own. You're getting minor attachments that may not have actually burrowed in yet. Any negative energies, stagnant energies, you're allowing all that to be released. So your rate of connectivity with you, yourself, and guess what? You again, is actually going to function the way that it needs to. Your clairs are going to have clarity. Some people vibe out with as you said, rocking out and going outside in nature. Earthing is a thing, going outside barefoot, touching a tree, laying in the grass. Some people use a stone, things like moss agate or different types of tourmalines, different types of kyanites. Um, there's a number of grounding stones that we can give you if you would prefer to use a crystal. You can exert specific energies into specific things. If you have something like, if you're a practitioner that uses poppets, if you are a practitioner that uses spell jars, if you are a practitioner that uses different types of physical elements for spells, i.e., wands or specific altar setups, you can use all that pent up energy or that negative energy to actually energize that space. If those things are sacred and used for sacred things, then any negativity, once it is reached, is going to dissipate, if not just completely dissolve, and you're going to be left with raw energy. Now, if you don't practice what you preach, you may have a little bit of trouble after a while, but that's on the person. There's a reason why I always talk about integrity in these particular situations. That would be one of the big reasons. Next up, as far as making sure that your spirit is ready, one of the best ways that I've found is not just meditation, but literally sensory dipping. So plug in the ears, put putting a blindfold on, because yeah, the shades are funny. Hey, he's blind. Why does he need a blindfold? Well, shades are for the light. But putting a blindfold on, plugging the ears, sitting in a quiet space. I'm not being touched by anything. I can't hear anything. I'm not seeing anything. I am allowing what is coming to me to actually speak, allow me to feel, allow me to hear, smell, taste, whatever the situation is for my particular clair, insert yours here, to function the way that it needs to, because you don't have the mental bias, because you're alleviating stress by sitting there in a space to yourself without the world able to intervene. You are taking your physical bias out of it because you are in a space to yourself. And you're actually allowing your spirit to do the walking. There's nothing there to say that it can't anymore. The typical bias or, you know, inhibition, that kind of stuff is gone, because you literally took its ability to be there away. Uh,
In a similar regard, singing bowls. It's a very similar experience, especially if you have someone like Tyree who has a special space, turns the lights off, and literally just plays them. Sound baths are awesome. And, honestly can do a lot for you, especially if you struggle to reach an actual relaxation point.
100%. Vibrational therapies, um, music therapies in general are a good way to go. One of the things that a lot of us mechanics will actually do is pop the earbuds in and, listen to music while we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the outside world goes away. You're focusing on music. Because you're focusing on music, you're not focusing on all of this. You're allowing what needs to come to you, whether it comes through the song itself or through your clair in that moment. Same thing with the singing bowls. Same thing with the sensory depth. There are other things that you can do that are a little bit more involved, but it doesn't mean that they are of any less use. And that is actually beginning to go into something of a ceremonial practice or a ritualistic practice. So, some practitioners do a lot of ceremonial magic or alchemy. Hermetics actually deals a lot with specific astrologies and using specific sigils, calling on specific things. And it takes an altar with specific tools. And I keep using the word specific because it is a pinpoint kind of thing. The person literally dips out and allows their flavor to go, these are the things that I need to have this effect that you desire. There are a lot of shamanistic practices. So think about this one. If anybody out there has actually experienced a shamanic journey before, which is the process of removing you from yourself and placing you in a different space so that you can experience your mind, your body, and your spirit outside of what you understand. A lot of shaman will take you to what is referred to as the meadow, which is a space where everybody goes. And some will take you into what is referred to as a grove, which is a sacred space. In groves, that's where you're taken to find your lower realm guides, so your animal buddies, or you're taken to meet with your ancestors or your higher realm guides, which could be angels, forms of divine, as I mentioned, your loved ones, um, different types of elementals. The point is that in that space, it's your spirit that does the walking. Your body and your mind have nothing to fucking do with it other than to just anchor you. You're there to experience divine in a different way. You can, during medicine work, certain medicine workers will have a particular practice that some people call twinning. Some people refer to it as merger. Some people refer to it as sync. But what it basically is it's a melding. So it's not just a moment where I'm giving this to you and you're giving this to me. It's we're in this moment together and we're vibing in the energy that is around that has nothing to do with us. We're both being told about the other person. We're both experiencing what we need to be in relationship with each other, and we're both able to heal each other's wounds. Does that take a lot of fucking trust? Yes, it does. But is it highly effective? 100%. The reason being is you take you out of it. You are being told by yours, theirs, or a combination of the two of divine exactly what is needed for each one of you. Witches, Wiccans, this is like one of the oldest practices on fucking earth. But think about when you circle up, when you do your ritual circle, when you begin to cast your corners, when you call to the towers, whatever it is that you refer to it as, bring in the elements. In that circle, there is nothing that exists within it or without it. There is nothing that is able to move within it or outside of it. It is the structure of the witches themselves and them giving themselves to their flavor that produces the effect of it. Old school ways of doing this, some covens would go into ritualistic dance, some covens would go into trance together, some covens would sing song together, but it was a communal effort. It wasn't one person that did all the job, did the whole job. It was a communal effort. Our goddess, our god, our this, our that. We ask you for these things on behalf of, for the sake of. And then their flavor goes, cool, let's get it. Y'all dip the fuck out. I'll take care of this for a minute. Being able to allow your spirit to do what it needs to do in order for it to actually communicate with your flavor is massively important. That's how your clair actually works. That's how the spiritual end of all this stuff actually begins to take place. You don't have any special fucking ability outside of your flavor's wishes. And I'm going to say that again. You don't have any massive superpower, special ability, mutant fucking, whatever. You don't have any of that comic book bullshit outside of what your flavor desires you to have. The stronger your connection to them, the more they allow you to perceive the world through their understanding. We get a glimpse, just a touch, just a taste, just a sound, just a quick moment. And that's what your clairs are. Your intuition is literally your relationship with your flavor of divine and nothing else. Anything else is running on instinct, and eventually anxiety is going to get you pigeonholed. So, what does it feel like? What does it feel like when your clairs actually pop? Some of you guys in the comments actually know this, but what does it feel like when your clair actually pops? It's, you experience it for the first time, sure, but after you've experienced it, you know how to get there. How does it feel?
Awesome. Just in a short word, awesome. It's a really awesome experience because it's that moment of connection of, oh, wow, that's not me. Fucking cool. I think it's a really cool, awesome experience. It's honestly one that once you have it happen the first time, you look forward to it again. It's a different type of relationship. And it's something that I think the day you stop thinking it's cool and awesome is the day you fucking lose it.
Mean? It's pretty accurate. It is. We all have a different understanding as far as the mechanics are concerned because we all have different understandings of what is divine.
Mhm.
Some of us believe that there is a divine authority of some kind. Some of us believe that there is just a divine presence that works with us. Some of us believe it's just nature incarnate. Some of us believe that it's actually divinity within ourselves. The awesome part of it is that it's all fucking true. Literally every one of those is a correct answer because one of them leads to the others. In that moment where you actually connect, things are easy. Things click. Things are not just right as far as answers and as far as, you getting stark images and, the ability to hear everything just crystal clear. It's more than that. It's seamless. There's not a fight, there's not a struggle, there's not a push, there's not a pull. It's you in that moment going, I can actually catch what this is. I'm being shown what this actually is. It's an amazing thing because in that particular moment, the stress goes away. The concern about whether or not you're correct goes away. The self doubt in those particular issues go away. And you're left not with an overconfidence or an arrogance. You're left with an actual peace. It's a very awesome moment for sure because there's no more turbulence. One of the best things that you can do when you have gotten your mind out of the way, at least for the moment, you're able to at least let some of the negative thoughts and intrusive thoughts and things like that kind of ease back for a bit and get a little bit of a handle on your logic. When you're able to allow your body to just take a back seat, it's going to do what it does on its own, the way that it's done what it does up until this day of our Lord after your vaginal exodus. It's going to do what it does naturally in order to survive for the little bit of time that you need it to.
Thank you, Brian.
What was it?
He tossed the banner back up.
I mean, we have a ticker for a reason.
Ladies and gentlemen, this program is not suitable for all children.
No.
Viewer
No.
discretion is advised.
100%. Y'all know exactly what this was. But your body has involuntary processes that it uses and facilitates all day, every day, regardless of what time it is and what's going on.
Breathing, heart beating. Also, I'm going to do this to y'all because I'm not sorry. Your tongue being in the specific spot that it is in your mouth.
Total tongue awareness. God, could you
What?
imagine that shit?
What?
But literally, these things are auto processes. You focusing on yourself so heavily, is part of the thing that gets in the way. That's the reason why, people are like, well, I've got, goosebumps and the hair standing up. Okay. Did the air conditioning just kick on? Did a cold breeze just come through? Are you actually spooked?
Or did you connect?
You don't know which one of those if all you're doing is trusting a physical response. Now, what's the difference in trusting your instincts and having clairtangents? Clairtangents is not you feeling you. Clairtangents is you feeling everything else. Physically able to reach out and touch and feel what is around that can't be seen by the naked eye. You feeling the goosebumps on your arm and the hair stand up and the pit in your stomach and the cold sweat and the slight nausea and the cotton mouth and the headache. If I have hit almost every one of your all symptoms when your clairs hit, then I have explained to you exactly what an anxiety attack is. Hate to tell you,
They suck.
it's 100% not your clair. That's you having a freak out.
Could it be potentially because you notice that your clairs are ticking off?
100%.
Yeah.
When you have that moment of, oh shit, it's real, and then you have the anxiety that backs it, 100%. Could it get to the points where you get close enough to where you can almost catch it and your inhibitions go, oh fuck, I'm too close? Yeah, 100%.
You're human.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
But it's knowing the difference that's important. Because if you're getting a lot of those symptoms, you have to sit back and ask yourself, okay, is this actually happening or is this something that I'm forcing myself to perceive? Because that's something else to note is depending on what it is that you're actually having the reaction to and for and because of or why, etc. It could be something around you that you just have a clash with, or it could be your mind not catching up with your spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's so important to make sure that all three are on the same freaking page. Because if one of them is not, I can almost guarantee that every time your clairs quote unquote pop, you're going to have an anxiety attack.
There's going to be a mental spot of extreme doubt or extreme opposition or extreme fear that's going to hit. There's going to be a physical opposition where there is going to be something that your body goes, this isn't right. This doesn't feel good. This is scary. It's that instinct reflex reaction of something's bigger than me that I can't see. Oh no.
The unknown / fear of the dark. It's literally the same thing. But if you think about the way that it happens is your fight or flight kicks. That's the adrenaline. And that's what's going to cause a majority of the symptoms that Steve listed out. And on the spiritual side of things, your root chakra is going to dump full black energy. And you're going to go into a full fight or flight.
It's going to be rough. And, this is where you see a lot of people now. I'm going to throw this disclaimer. I'm not saying that just because these are the symptoms of a panic attack that these can't happen to some people under spiritual duress. Yes, they can happen if someone is being affected. However, 9 times out of 10, it's literally someone that has psyched themselves up. Kind of like I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that have been on a public ghost hunt, or even if you were on a team or have been on a team and you went on a private investigation, there's usually at least one person that has been affected by a negative spirit and has to be removed from that place that you are investigating. Okay, there are things to understand about that. Why just that one person when there's a multitude of others? Next up, and I brought this up over the last couple weeks, if they go outside and get a couple breaths of fresh air and immediately are okay, all right, that's when you kind of need to look at things. If they go outside and they are still having a freak out and they're outside and they're in the middle of everything, breathing fresh air and everything is all right, and everybody else is going, what the fuck is going on with this? 9 times out of 10, that's a panic attack.
And that's all right. It's okay. It happens.
But it's not a spiritual attack. It's you psyching yourself up, believing that you could be spiritually attacked. So when your clair pops, your anxiety pops, and then the panic hits because there's something there that you typically couldn't experience, that you can't explain, and automatically your brain goes to it's a demon, it's negative, it's this, it's that, or the other, and you start to panic. That's not a demon reaching into your chest and trying to squeeze the life out of your heart. That's you unable to breathe. There's a difference here.
I want to say something right quick. The first question that anybody should ask if that feeling is going, is this me? I am a clairtangent, so I feel the energy around me. Everybody's anxiety does affect me. Everybody's moods do affect me. However, the first question I always ask is this me? Because I also suffer from anxiety. Okay, no. The next thing, who is it? Because I'm asking the question, who is it? And then they show me.
It's always important to question. In those particular moments, it's always important to question. And even outside of those moments, if you're rolling around in a situation like that where you're in an investigation or a public ghost hunt, or you're even in the middle of doing an attachment removal or a blessing or something for somebody else, question that shit as often as you need.
I'm going to loop back to something that we brought up last year. Faith like a child.
What does a child do better than anything else?
What's
Why,
this?
Daddy? Why, Daddy? Why does it work like that? Why does it work like this? How come? Is this how this goes? Is this how this works?
Faith as a child is not talking about being, completely blind driven in faith. It's literally talking about asking questions and trusting that your flavor will give you the answer. The honest to literal God truth. Ask questions. If it doesn't seem right, if it doesn't feel right, if shit seems off, there's a reason. If you don't know that reason, ask. Educate yourself. In Brian's case, you know, he has to do that. He gave the reasons why, but he has to do that. Okay, is it my anxiety or is it someone else's? Is this actually happening to me or is this something out here? Okay, well, I have the answer to that. If it's me, I need to check myself. If it's somebody else, why is it going down? Do they have an attachment? They just having a freak out. Is there something going on that they didn't tell somebody, or is this a chronic condition? Things like that. You can ask questions. Any good medium, any good conduit, any good channel, any good fucking energy worker, anybody that does this kind of stuff will fucking tell you that they ask questions constantly, even in the middle of readings.
I mean, you'll catch us on Tarot Night doing the same thing. Well, why the hell did this card pop up? Oh, okay. A few cards in.
I need some clarity. Pull another card.
Yep. Like with, I use my cat deck a lot. Yeah. All right, guys, I need a little bit more than this. You're not really giving me much to work on. What are you trying to say? You know, you can ask questions in any way that you need to.
It's part of also being in a relationship, though. And that's kind of where we're looping back to again. Is if it's one sided, one, you're not going to get very many answers. It's going to be very clouded and you're not going to understand what's happening. But when you actually have the relationship, not only do your clairs pop without anxiety attacks, but you understand where they're coming from. That and it's a really beautiful experience. And I really hope that everybody actually gets that.
Same.
Agreed. Because in that moment where your clair is active, that's truly you getting to be you. Because at that point, there's not a
Ooh.
mask in the way.
Ooh. That's a thought.
At that particular point, there's not a mask in the way. There's not a particular thing that you're focused on. There's not this, physical twitch that you got going on. All that fades away. It's you, your flavor, and the situation, and the literal truth of it.
So, could it be assumed that the anxiety or the physical sensation that you're feeling towards this thing is you're afraid of who you really are?
In a lot of cases, yes. We find, especially, and Brian's asking that both legitimately, but he already knows.
Mm-hmm.
He and I specifically over the last better than a decade now, um, have taught people on how they can approach their clairs, how they can figure out how they work. And 9 out of 10 times, the biggest reason why people just won't allow themselves to do it is they're afraid of what will happen. They're afraid of who they'll be or what they are. They're afraid of what people are going to say. It's literally an image thing. Well, if I do these things, that makes me somebody different, right?
See, and you saying that just makes me think of literally the story of the apple. They didn't care before. They ate the apple and then all of a sudden they were, concerned about being naked. What type of naked?
I mean, essentially,
The fear of being exposed.
the mask is gone. The curtain's been drawn. It. I am literally out here in the elements. The big thing is that a lot of people don't focus on the relationship between them and what they view as a higher power. What they're focused on is everybody else.
What will they think about me?
What will they say? How am I going to look in front of them? If this happens, I'm going to be shoved into the rumor mill. All this other stuff. You hear that a lot. You hear it a whole lot. And the thing about it is, is that you're being you. Nothing's going to change unless you fucking change something. You're just getting out of your own way. Things are no longer congested. You don't have to look through the tiny little pinholes of a mask anymore. You get to view the world for what it is.
It's a freeing feeling. That's part of why it's so beautiful.
We've seen people over the years here at Spirit Mechanics, both current and former mechanics, as well as plenty of clients, plenty of students, even people that have come to our seminars, the quickie seminars that we do at some of these events that are like 30, 45 minutes long. And they leave completely different people. Not because of anything that we did, but because they allowed it. And were they anybody different than what they always were? No. But by God, you could tell the difference. It's something that you can feel. That's the greatest part of working with people that allow their clairs to clair, is you can click it. It's literally like making a whole person. If you have the right people that are willing to do the thing together, it's like having a whole person. All the senses are covered. That's the reason why us mechanics work in teams and why it's, our job to make sure we don't miss anything. Well, this one hears, this one sees, this one feels, this one tastes, that one smells, this one has a little bit of an extra sensory perception and can tie it all together. It's an awesome fucking situation to watch that happen. You just have to allow it. It's another one of those things like happiness. Happiness isn't something that you have to strive for. It's something that already exists and you just need to allow. Your clair is no different and, quite honestly, leads you towards a happier space. Because then you don't have as much of the baggage, at least from yourself. You don't have as much of the baggage.
Or it's more clear.
Right. This is where this came from. You have to be able to question, not doubt. So scrutinize yourself. You can debunk yourself just like you can anybody else. Any evidence, scrutinize yourself. Ask questions. Make sure that your head's out of your ass and that your body isn't falling off a cliff before you start to do this stuff. Allow yourself to ground and center. Allow yourself to actually be in that moment. Allow yourself to actually fucking listen when you are getting these answers, as opposed to just letting noise enter your ear hole against your will and getting, forcibly sound fucked. Instead of that, actually listen.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't understand why that's just not constant, but okay.
I'm sorry. It just goes every time he takes it down. Like 5 minutes later, he has to put it back up.
Shh, 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 shh. It's okay.
So
The reason why I take it down is to have the Stephen Pat on the bottom.
Oh,
yeah, 'cause we're over in the corner, I think.
yeah, our names are there. That's okay. Just keep the ticker up, man. If they don't know who we are, that's fine.
It's kind of important. They have to know who are these jackasses talking. Huh?
Is that bitch high?
Sleep deprived, but not high.
She takes a big swig of fucking coffee. Why can't I sleep at night?
Because I haven't been connecting with my divine enough.
No.
No, that would not be it. No, that would not be it.
No.
No.
She grabs life by the balls and lives it through caffeine and spite.
Yeah, some days. Speaking of spiritual applications.
Breathe.
Yeah, that's important.
No, he's saying that to you.
Oh, boo.
You kind of can't tell because you can't make eye contact. This works better for Steve not to see me. All he does is hear me anyway.
I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to make eye contact with? The wolves behind us? Like, what the fuck?
You can't get the cue if I'm not in front of you.
Sweet fuck.
No, like seriously.
What?
Breathe.
Oh.
She eye rolls.
See, that's bad for you. He can fucking tell on you. Cause see now I've got Big Brother that's literally talking in my ear.
I need you to calm down a little bit. Oh, you're good.
But my back popped like 3 times, so.
See? Look at you, already getting it.
See?
Yay!
Who would have thought that this shit actually worked?
No way!
Thanks for being a guinea pig.
Oh, yeah, no problem, guys. I'm glad to be of service.
Mm. So
Bringing it back.
Now that this monkey's fell out of the tree and got a hemorrhage in the brain, what we're trying to tell you is that the only thing that can honestly stop your clairs from being clairs is you. And the only thing that you really need to worry about at the end of the day is making sure that you are actually in a state to allow things to work. It's not about forcing them to work. It's not about forcing your third eye open. It's not about ascending to another level. People that say that shit need to be kicked off a bridge. There's no such thing as an ascension of ability or power or leveling up. We're not living a fucking RPG. And if we were, those motherfuckers that keep saying that definitely put their points in the wrong stat.
We're going to get that grind on, right, Steve?
That's it. Fucking power grind this shit.
I suck at this game.
Dump all our shit into strength and none into dex and definitely none into intelligence.
You almost said intuition.
Well, in this particular case,
It would be. Yeah.
But
we need some wisdom points up in this bitch.
We need some common fucking sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to force your clairs, they're not gonna fucking pop, and you're gonna hurt yourself. And please just don't.
The whole thing with that is that your clairs are natural. It's not I have to open this and work with that and do all these other things. What that does is it helps you hone your gift It helps you understand it, but it doesn't create it. Your shit is natural. You use it every day, all day long. You can't turn it off. Those that tell you that you can are either one, binding you, which is fucking dangerous, or two, lying to you, which is also fucking dangerous.
And for those of you that have buried it, that is a different situation. That's you actively choosing not to pay attention to it for
Mhm.
various reasons,
True.
which that's your business. You know, you can
It
always open that stuff back up. It doesn't go away.
it's like a martial art. You go in, and you can walk, you can throw a punch, you can walk around, kick maybe, but the more you do it, the more natural it becomes.
Hmm.
It's still you performing the moves, the techniques, the procedures when it comes to martial arts. It doesn't turn off, but when you need it in the moment that you need it, your body just reacts.
Pretty much. Spiritual gifts are a spiritual muscle. The more you use it, the more toned it is. You know, these kinds of situations, and as far as burying it, denying the gift doesn't turn it off. It just dulls your perception of it. That's about it. It's same thing as doing this. La 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 la. Does it mean that your ears don't work anymore? No. Does it mean that you won't be able to hear shit when you take your hands off your ears? No. What it means is that you're actively trying to not hear things. That's a choice. Can, PTSD be a thing? Can trauma be a thing? Yes, 100%. That's what Pat was getting at. Yes, can be. But does it mean that your gift has gone away? No, it's like what Brian was saying. Absolutely not. It can't go away.
Tis a gift.
It's freely given. It's not something that you have to pay for. It's something you already got. I think as far as, spiritual practice and being able to, apply yourself on a spiritual level, you just need to understand that you're a spirit in a body. You're not a body with a spirit, you're a spirit with a body.
Enjoy that meat suit, man.
You vibe from the inside out, not the other way around. Let your flavor go, yo, I got you. Let's talk about this shit. Let's get this worked out. Hey, did you ever notice that? Have you ever really listened to this when you had the opportunity? I wonder what that particular, energy, that food, that experience, I wonder what it actually, tastes like, what the aroma is. Have you ever reached out and actually touched what it is that you want to actually experience? Let your flavor honestly talk you through it. Guess what? That's your intuition, y'all. That's what it actually is. Then let your body respond. Then let your mind process it. See what we did there? We built up all the way to this shit just to go backward. That's how you know it's the end of this particular lesson. Your practice is going to be your own, and the way that you experience things is going to be in your way, in your time.
Have faith in yourselves. Have faith in each other. Have faith in the divine that you work with, that you rock with. When you put it all together, it makes some awesome shit.
And it's only as difficult as you make it, because it should be.
As easy as breathing.
Does it mean that you can't go to people and have them help you hone it? Have them help you show you how to connect, how to interpret, how to, use your gifts? Absolutely not. By God, go get you some teaching.
Yeah, gives you a chance to not only understand how you work, but how somebody else does too. Means you can connect with somebody else.
But at the end of the day, take what you're being taught and make sure you're applying it to you. You're not going to a teacher unless you specifically ask for it. You're not going to a teacher to learn exactly what it is that they do. You're learning how to adopt what they do to what you need.
Have a healthy respect, never fear, and that goes for yourself as well.
Ooh, there's a statement. We got any comments?
Quite a few, I believe. So, Keith said going backwards can end up going forward.
Depending on what's going on, absolutely.
Dad said, I want to see the gnomes. Keith said, if you bury them, it can be detrimental to your physical and mental health.
It can be, yeah.
And Renee said the toughest one I had was if I was worthy enough to be able to have a relationship with my divine, but sitting in my space with my divine made the conversation better. It was the best feeling ever. Casey said, APT, I like offending people. I really don't care. Laughy face. I think that was in reference to like being yourself.
Oh,
Renee also said questions lead to answers or direction to move next.
Hmm.
And back when we were talking about negative energies, Casey said, I've had a spirit with a really negative energy cause me to go into a panic attack. She just wanted help. I sent her to my best friend and she elevated her. That's awesome. And Dad said, I turned stuff off for decades. I don't see things, so I don't get anxious yet, but it's slowly coming back. Casey said, I'd share a bunch of voices and conversations, but don't always know who it is. And that was back when you were talking about what it feels like having your clears pop.
gotcha. Okay.
And also in that time frame, Terry said it feels like flowing, weaving, and peaceful.
100%.
Renee said, my head tingles, it becomes electric-like. And after I was saying awesome a ton, Dad said it's definitely awesome not knowing that you're not nuts. Like, true. So, yeah. And then we had several people shouting hi. So, howdy, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Absolutely.
And Keith just said, I learned from many of you, took that and made my own way. That works for me. All the help is very appreciated.
I mean, that's kind of the point.
And Renee said, I too have learned so much from all of you as well. I thank you so much. And we're caught up.
Awesome. So this one is probably going to be a little bit shorter than other ones, as far as these live streams. And the reason why is we've essentially covered everything. What we're actually going to do for next week's is we're actually going to be talking about how all this can be put into a single motion. Being able to utilize your headspace correctly, understand your position with and around your body, and being able to vibe spiritually, what that can do for you. So we're actually going to be talking about at least a couple of examples, probably the three of us, me, Pat, and Brian, maybe somebody else. We don't know. But probably the three of us talking about how it is that we specifically work in certain scenarios, as well as giving you guys some options, some different ways of looking at things. Um, Whether that is specific practices or if it is along the lines of doing something akin to Reiki or physical alchemy. So, we just wanted you guys to have at least a few weeks of understanding where we're going to be coming from next week. That at the end of the day, you're accountable. Your gifts are yours, not anyone else's. It's not for them to turn off, turn down, or turn up. It's for you to utilize in the way that you feel. And that at the end of it, the only things that can get in the way of what it is that you know is best for you and what is going to make you happy is you. Choices breed circumstances, not the other way around. Life may give situations because life is going to life, and there may be some uncontrollable things that happen. But as far as you and how you develop and how you function and how you feel and what it is that you focus on and what it is that you allow, all of those things are, guess what? Your responsibility. Make choices, make good ones. And if you've made some iffy situations before, guess what? You still got time to make better ones. Life is about living it. Allowing your clairs to pop and allowing them to do what they do allows you to make better choices, because then you can actually listen to your intuition and your flavor's going, yo, dumbass, you're about ready to fall on that hill. You're about ready to go down that path that's dark as shit. You might want to stay over here for a little bit. Or even if it's not anything that harsh, it could be, look, the stove's hot. Don't touch it. Y'all can do this just like any mechanic can. Just like any other practitioner, any other psychic, anybody that is worth their weight in salt. You can do it just like any of the rest of us. As she said earlier, have some faith in yourself. Ask the questions that need to be asked. Find a teacher if it's what you feel you need.
I did.
I did too.
Same.
That's what it's about, y'all. You get to decide who you are. So who you going to be on the other side of that decision? We're going to talk a little bit about that next week. But to my knowledge, we're going to have a new forecast up as of tomorrow night. We'll have forecast up for you guys on the YouTubes.
I'm changing the time on it. It will be at 12:30, so people can catch it on their lunch.
Fair enough. So 12:30 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
You guys can catch it on the red play button. And if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. That's where a lot of our content is going to be, including our Bridging the Gap episodes, the energetic forecast that we do every Friday, and some other exclusive stuff that Brian and the rest of us have kind of been tossing back and forth that we're going to start doing for and possibly with some of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Also, remember that as of 3,500, so here in about another, 200 some follows, we are going to be doing a special kind of special something for a special couple of y'all. Um, so we're going to be doing one of our patented giveaways uh, that is going to be a bunch of different things. So we usually do it. We usually have some kind of game that we play or audience participation thing that we do, and we basically give away 3 to 5 gifts of some varying degree. Uh, I think we're going to start working on some pretty decent and some pretty interesting stuff for this one. Also, remember, once we get to 5,000, we are going to actually be reenacting a horror movie of your all's choosing.
Yeah.
Of course, it's going to be done the mechanics way, and of course, it is not going to be taken seriously, but it is going to be a reenactment of your all's chosen horror movie. So we're all both scared and looking forward to that situation.
I don't have to be in front of the camera. I'm excited.
Also, we've got a couple of goofy and special things that are coming up the pike in some small, like some short form stuff like reels and TikToks and stuff like that, as well as probably a special project that Pat, Brian, and I have discussed because I think it would be absolutely hilarious to pull this off. Um, but we'll see what happens. But just remember, guys, that y'all are loved. I'm sure that a lot of internet personalities are going to say the same thing. I'm sure a lot of strangers would even tell you the same thing, and only half of them probably mean it. We're a group that actually does. We're brought to you by you. We run off donations from you. We're here for you, and always will be. Y'all have had us through some of the roughest times, and we've had some of y'all through your rough times. It's what family does. It's what this community does. It's what it's for. Spirit Mechanics is not just, an entity, it is literally a community. It's where a bunch of the misunderstood kids, the weirdos, the psychics that don't have a spot, the people that don't get it, the people that want to try and get it, and everybody in between has a safe spot. We've got y'all. Promise. If you need us for anything, you reach out. You let us know. If you would like to learn from a mechanic, reach out. Let us know. If you would like to get more information on classes or what it is that we offer outside of events and that kind of thing, let us know. If you want a reading or energy work or some kind of connectivity session like mediumship, let us fucking know. We're not just here to talk to you guys once a week. We are 6 days a week, y'all. We got you. And we're going to be doing this fun shit until we run out of ideas and y'all run out of patience. So, till we see you guys again, and hopefully we'll be seeing you this weekend at the local mystical market off of Center Parkway here in Lexington. That would be the 17th and 18th of May. But until we see y'all again, and as always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and remember that those that have the power to change themselves have the power to change the world around themselves. Love y'all.
Huh. It's weird.